This is Kugan Cassius for from London. We're in Bally's here in Atlantic City. With me, I've got one and only Amir Khan. What's happening, Amir?
I'm alright, man. I'm good. Just here enjoying. Gonna enjoy the weekend of boxing. You've got a couple of big fights on. You've got Alexander versus Matisse, and then you've got
Peterson versus
Matisse, and then you've got Alexander fighting against our UK fighter Lee Purdy. So it's gonna be a good night of boxing. And Haroon Khan's also on the bill, making his first debut fight in America, and also with him will be Anthony Ogogo, who's fighting the same day.
Now, Amir, rumours flying around for the last couple of weeks about yourself, so I'm just going to ask you straight. You don't have to answer anything if you're, there's things you can't tell us, but what's the story with you and Floyd Mayweather? Because a lot of stories are circulating that a fight could be close, but what can you tell us anything about that?
I mean, negotiations are going through. I mean, I'm going to speak to Golden Boy as well. It's a fight that Floyd Mayweather wants, and he spoke about it, and his team want. And it's a fight that I'd love to take. I'd love to be in the same ring as, one of the best fighters that we've had in the sport of boxing, because to share a ring with him, and I know that he has flaws. I think speed will make a big difference in the fight. I think I can cause him problems and make it a very tough fight for him. So that's something I believe I have in my advantage if I do ever fight against him. But it's something that we're still in talks about. Both teams know, both parties know that we one day will be in the same ring as each other. So at the moment we're still in negotiations and we're still talking, but nothing's been finalised.
What do you say to those people that would question whether you warrant a fight with Mayweather at this stage of your career now? I
mean, look, I've never fought at 147, but I know 100%. I've never been put down in sparring. I've normally sparred at 155. My natural weight is 155. Being at 140, it used to kill me. You can see my early fights being hit by Maidana. I used to make the weight naturally. I used to be not far off from the weight of 140. I got hit with the biggest guys like Judah, Maidana, and them guys, and I never moved. I stood there, took the shots, but it's only now where these light punches could put you down, because you're killing yourself making weight. Now when you kill yourself making weight, it makes you vulnerable on punches, and also that punch power's not there. I'm not knocking an opponent out because I'm killing myself making weight. I feel weak and everything. So it's like fasting and going into a fight. It's very hard to hold that power and that muscle, because what happens when I hit like 147, when I try to lose that 7 pounds, I burn muscle. I lose muscle, which is bad, I think, in a way. I've knocked sparring partners out. Down. I know the power's there, but it's just that weight making is very crucial in boxing, and people don't understand about the weight making. I'll be such a better fighter at 147. I'll be a lot stronger physically. So I think I'll be a total different fighter at 147. So that's the reason I want to move up. And by even saying I want to move up to 147, it wasn't me, it was Floyd and his team who said, we want to fight Amir Khan. Amir Khan, you're next. And this is after the Guerrero fight. So I thought, what, it wouldn't make an amazing fight. He believes it'll make an amazing fight. I believe it'll make an amazing fight. Golden Boy thinks the same. Everyone thinks the same. So I mean, you're gonna get people who are gonna say it's not gonna, because if you look at Floyd's last few opponents, they've all been slow, flat-footed. I mean, I don't bring that to the table. I bring something else to the table, an exciting style, an explosive style, fast feet, fast hands. So I'm totally different to these guys that Floyd's fought, and they've still caused Floyd a little bit of problems. I know I can cause him a lot of problems, So it's a fight there. It's an ambition to be in the same ring as someone like Floyd Mayweather, and to see how good I do against one of the greatest fighters out there. I'm not saying I'm big-headed, I think I'll beat him and all that. I think I will give him a very tough fight.
Can you say that you will definitely not fight at 140 in your next fight?
Well, it just depends what deal's out there for me.
But is it unlikely that you'll fight?
Very unlikely, yeah, very unlikely.
You will be at 147?
Yeah, very unlikely. I'll pick 147. Right now, I'm still lean, still got a six-pack and everything, and I'm 153, 154. So, this is my natural weight. Now, think of me going down to 140 and I'm ripped and I'm lean now, you get me? So, it's tough.
There was some suggestion also that the winner of Lee Purdy versus Devil Alexander, obviously there's complications now due to Lee Purdy not making the weight, but there was suggestion that could be your first fight at 147 for that IBF title
it could be
in December.
Definitely.
So is that something that interests you against Devil Alexander?
It's been spoken about. and it's a fight that I think I probably would be interested in. I think Alexander's a good fighter. It was a fight that Alexander, it's a fight between me and him. He didn't take when we both was 140 pounds. He didn't take me. He avoided me then. So maybe at 147, I think when I move up, I'll be in the top 10 anyway. I think that fight will definitely be made. I'm not gonna do what Kell Brook did. I mean, pull out. I'm not one of them guys. I'm a warrior. Whoever they put in front of me, I'll fight. I mean, Kell Brook had the opportunity and didn't take it. He pulled out. He didn't want to fight him. I believe, So the thing is, it's all about just being, being smart in this game of boxing. And I think it's a smart move for me. If that fight did come ahead, I would definitely take it. I think Alexander is a good fighter, but I really believe I beat Alexander.
Because I spoke to Alexander and Cunningham, his trainer, and they had a lot to say about the rumours that are surfacing about you and Devon, and basically, Alexander said to me that, that sort of fight, that you wouldn't want that fight with
I wouldn't
Devon.
want that fight. I'll definitely take that fight.
Yeah.
I'm not one guy to pull out of any fight or say no to any opponent. I fought whoever they put in front of me. I mean, I'm not the runner in that fight. I mean, the runner is Devon Alexander. I mean, he ran away from me at 140. I mean, he went at 147. I'm ready for him. I mean, if he wants that fight, I'd love to take that fight. Same again, he. I mean, look at the way he fights and I fight. I mean, different class, I think. Devon Alexander is a world champion, which I respect, but I don't think he's in the same level. But look, it will be a good fight for the fans to see, and I'm not one to say no to it.
I think when they were saying he doesn't want, I don't think they were saying, oh, he doesn't want the fight. I think they were saying you wouldn't want that fight. You wouldn't want to come and face Devon in that context. I think that's the way it was said.
Well, on IFM London, I'm going to say that I would want that fight because I believe I beat Devon Alexander. But like I said, there could be bigger fights out there than that fight. Yeah. But it's still an option, and we'll just see how things go.
Amir, I spoke to Asif Valley 2 days ago, or was it yesterday, about this thing. Obviously, this thing with Kell Brook is continuous. There's always things going on, but it's overspilling with your fans. Your fans and his fans are always bickering, and it's going on. Is there like a resentment with Kell Brook's camp and Kell Brook personally, Amir, between you and... If
I saw Kell Brook, I'll say hi to him, I'll be cool with him. I mean, look at Barry Hearn, after the McCluskey fight, we had that up and down, but everything's cool. One thing people have to remember, we're professional sportsmen. I've got nothing against Eddie Hearn. I think he's a nice guy. I think he's a great promoter. Same with Barry Hearn. I think he's great for the sport of boxing to be involved in. I met him today, shook hands with him at the press conference, at the weigh-in, sorry. But with Kell Brook, that fight, what happened? He's not big enough. He's not a big enough name. I'm not disrespecting him. He could be, or he's not a bad fighter, but he's not a big enough name, and there's no point me taking that fight on. So I'm sorry for all the fans.
Would you not take a fight domestically because of how big it would be domestically? Potentially pay-per-view as well.
Yeah, is Kell Brook known in the UK? I mean, come on, he's not known by everyone. I mean, look, he's not a big name. I think he's like another McCluskey, you get me? And really, them numbers then are too big. I mean, it won't be as big as people think it'll be. All boxing fans only want to see that fight, but general public won't know who Kell Brook is, and they won't buy the fight because who is this Kell Brook? Not many people know Kell Brook. Plus, most of my money is made in America, on America TV. They don't want the fight. They don't know who Kell Brook is. They give Kell Brook an opportunity to fight on this bill against Devon Alexander to prove himself, and he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to take that chance. So you tell me. I mean, I don't think he's one fighter that I should be even looking at. I mean, he's not even on my radar. Honestly, honest truth is, he's not on my radar. I wouldn't fight him. I would have given him that big payday. That's what he's after. I mean, I wouldn't even bother with someone like
Kell Brook with a belt. That changes everything.
Yeah, but I mean, if he wins the belt, then it's different. I mean, I'll probably beat him up just to take that belt off him, but other than that, I think it just don't make sense. And then, if he keeps running his mouth, you know what? That fight will never happen, regardless of being 10-time world champion or never winning a world title. So Kell Brook needs to stop running his mouth, or I just basically won't fight him. I'll just say forget him. I don't need to fight him. There's bigger fish out there for me. What's the point me coming back to the UK and taking on a fighter who I know I'll beat, who I used to school in amateurs, who I used to, beat up? Why should I come back home and just to fight him just so he can get a big payday? I mean, there's no reason for me to fight Kell Brook, but if he proves himself and he stops talking crap and talking trash, then I swear, that fight could be made. But he needs to start respecting a two-time former world champion. I mean, because at the end of the day, I've done the hard way, he hasn't. So that's one thing, you know, I've got nothing against the guy. I'm only talking the truth and saying the truth, that when we used to spar, you know, I used to school him, but he can't take the fact. I mean, I said it on ringside, you know, live in front of his face, he couldn't say anything. All he said is that, no, I schooled you. I mean, Kell, come on, man. You know the truth. And, you know, all these people who are talking about Kell Brook, I mean, you read what Danny Raphael and all these people are talking about Kell Brook. They don't even know who he is, and when they start researching, when they start searching his name and finding out who this kid is, they think, what's the point writing about him? No one likes to write about him, no one likes to talk about him. I mean, Kell Brook is a nobody, honest truth, he's a nobody. No one knows him in the US. In the boxing world, in the UK, people know him, only a handful. I mean, his Twitter followers say all, what was it, 20, 30,000 followers?
I think he's on more than that. I think he's on more than that. But
say 100, okay, say 100,000. I mean, I'm on 1.5 million. You know what I mean? What's the difference? I mean, I'm a superstar. He's just a normal nobody fighter. You know what I mean? Who's just, if he was respectful like McCluskey, then it'd be different. You know what I mean? But he's not respectful. It's all about being respectful and, you know, respecting your opponents, respecting, you know, the boxing sport. Then fights will be made. I mean, you know, but at the moment, when someone's not showing you respect, you think, well, what's the point of me giving him a payday? And it's a sport end of the day. That's why we have to see boxing as a sport.
Your last performance against Julio Diaz,
yeah.
Looking back on it now, you had the knockdown, which you survived,
yeah.
Come through the rounds to get the victory. Were you overall happy with the performance, satisfied?
I mean, no, I think I could have done better, to be honest with you, but still getting the win. I mean, against a very tricky opponent who fought Sean Porter the fight before and give Sean Porter a draw. A lot of people thought he won that fight. Now, I think you know, Diaz kind of put himself back into the sport of boxing. He is tough, just when he can take a good shot. I know he's been knocked out in his sport in his early career, in early part of his career, but I mean, that can happen to anyone. One punch can change a fight. But you know what, overall, I mean, he was strong, and I think it proved to me that killing myself, making 140 pounds is tough, and I should be making that weight, because I was killing myself. You can see I looked very drained. I was sweating when I walked into the ring, where normally I'm nice and sweaty. But even though the fight made at 143, it was very hard to make 143. I mean, only I know what it was like. So 147 would be an ideal weight.
Right, the last thing I'm going to ask you, Peterson and Matisse. First of all, who wins the fight?
Peterson will win the fight because I think he's a better fighter. He's more of a tighter. He's got a tighter guard. He's a straight punch fighter. Plus, he's got that height advantage by 3 inches and the reach advantage by 5 inches, which a lot of people don't know. You know, and they don't kind of see that. I think he'll keep him away, but then when he needs to, he'll start working him in the inside, which I don't think. Matisse is a good inside fighter. Matisse is good at fighting from long range and throwing his big looping shots and catching it with a good shot, but not inside, which I think Peterson's a better fighter.
I asked Matisse yesterday and their team whether they'd be interested in a fight with you, and they said that they would. Is that a fight that would interest you?
Definitely. Look, he's a very respectful guy. He's a tougher fight than someone like Kell Brook. I would take that fight because, like I said, he's not talking crap, and he's respectful. I'd love it, and that's the fight people want to see. But when someone like Kell Brook gives it big ones, what's the point in giving him a payday? You know what I mean? I mean, look, I like Eddie Hearn. I think he's a good promoter, even though we've had our ups and downs. But I think people like Kell Brook need to prove themselves, not pull out of fights, and, you know, fight the big names out there. I mean, he's having a rematch with Carson Jones again. You want to see that?
All right, listen, Amir, thank you very much for talking to I from London.
Cheers,
and just keep us posted on whatever happens.
Yes, I will definitely let you know, man, what goes down. All right, bro. Take care.
Nice one. Coogan Cassius, Amir Khan, I Film London. Thank you very much. I Film London.